I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
Anyone claiming that America's economy is in decline is peddling fiction.
I've abandoned free market principles to save the free market system.
But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it.
Raising the debt ceilings does not increase our debt. It does not somehow promote profligacy.
I know words. I have the best words. Nobody knows the system better than me, which is why I alone can fix it.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome back to the Peddling Fiction Podcast. I am your host, the voice and soul of so-called fiction, Johnny Profita. And back with me is the one and only Justin Hillbilly Boy Campbell. How you doing over there?
Not too bad. It is fucking cold. It's like 19 degrees. It warmed up. It's 27 degrees now. Sun came out. Balmy 27.
27.
So we got a bunch of snow the other day, and then it was like 50, and everything melted off. And then as soon as everything melted off, it went back to being like sub 20 degrees. I think yesterday the high was 25. It's really quite love. I actually like the cold. I don't mind. I act like it's a big deal. I love cold weather. I prefer it, honestly. But
oh, not me. It's cold enough for me here, and it's probably 80 degrees, something like that. A little cloudy today, though. A little cloudy, feels like a lazy, I don't know, feels kind of like a Sunday for some reason, but might be because I went out last night, had a nice little dinner with some people. So, yeah. And is today are we doing a happy hour today?
I work, but we can. As long as day shift didn't fuck everything up, which is asking a lot, but as long as day shift didn't fuck everything up today, I left them in really good shape, so I might actually be able to participate to some extent. This is all assuming, but
yeah, you work.
Doing.
You work too much. You're working too much. Oh man.
Yesterday was my first day back to work in like 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I just can't remember is today our regularly scheduled one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then yeah, we'll plan on that. Oh man, of course. Sorry, I'm just checking a stock that I was keeping an eye on.
As soon as we start doing a show, then your stock does exactly what you've been waiting for it to do for the last 6 hours.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, this is one that I own. I was looking to sell some covered calls on it, which I did, but I sold them. It was at like $6.88 a share, and the covered calls were for the strike price was $8, and now it's at $6.97 now. So I could have gotten a much better price on it if I had just waited. But I think this is all just kind of, I mean, there's a lot of stuff up big today in the markets, probably because we had the non-farm payroll jobs report come out, and it was another surge. November jobs surge above estimates as wage growth comes in hot, unemployment rises. And there seems to be a lot of Trump euphoria still in the markets that I think is pushing this all up. Of course, on that same stock, there's probably some calls that are some $7 calls that are expiring today because it's Friday. It gets up to $6.97 right before the markets close. So yeah, let's see. I think they also revised last month's higher in one of the reports. I don't know if this article talks about it or not.
Yeah, unlike previous months, most of which had all seen downward revision, the previous 2 months were revised higher. September was revised up by 32,000 from 223,000 to 255,000, and the change for October was revised up by 24,000 from 12,000 to 36,000. With these revisions, employment in September and October combined is 56,000 higher than previously reported. And that's the first time that's happened in a while.
Yeah.
And granted, revising October up took it from abysmal to still abysmal. Let's not pretend that like made a massive.
Yeah. There's a couple of possible explanations for this. It could be seasonal. I don't know if these numbers are seasonally adjusted or not, but we are getting into the holidays where there's a lot more temporary hiring going on for the Black Friday shit, and then going into Christmas.
Well, and especially in October. So people know that Black Friday and the Christmas holiday season is like a really big deal in the retail industry, but the distribution side of it, they start ramping up in September and October because you've got to be putting the shit in trucks and getting shipments together and getting stuff moving for, everything that goes on sale on Black Friday didn't show up on Wednesday. Like it's over the entire course of basically the entire month of October is when, because I worked at a big distribution center for a while, and that's when you start really ramping up. Everybody's working 7 days a week, just overtime, balls to the wall, getting everything ready so that you can get it all on the trucks and get it out to the stores so that by the time it hits the stores, they're ready to get it all brought out and set up for the Black Friday madness.
Yeah. And so that would be perhaps a legitimate explanation for, if these numbers are legitimate, that would be a good explanation for why we're seeing the uptick. If they are illegitimate and this is all just more bullshit, the conspiracy theorist in me would say, oh, they're pumping up these numbers so that we can get a Fed rate cut in December. That's what the markets want. This would give them seemingly justification. This would give the Fed to cut another 25 basis points. And we'll see. We'll see how everything shakes out, but that would be, I'm more inclined to, and maybe it's a combination of the two, but yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens to these numbers at the next report to see if they're revised up or down one more time. But yeah, it seems like the reason the markets are up pretty big. Well, the Dow's actually down today. Futures market's up. S&P's up, NASDAQ is up. There was a lot of excitement over this report giving the Fed justification to cut another 25 basis points, which if you're a stock market that's addicted to cheap money, you got to keep getting that fix. And as soon as you know that fix is coming, you could see some short-term rallies related to that. So did I send you the other article? The tale of two reports on the payrolls. Pull that up real quick, because again, this is where you see some of the more nefarious things going on. If you want to read just the first part of that for us.
All right. The establishment survey said we added 227,000 jobs and even had upward revisions of 56,000 of the prior 2 months. Pretty darn good. Much better than ADP, which came in at only 146,000 with significant downward revisions to last month. But that's not the really weird part. The unemployment rate ticked up to 4.2% from 4.1%. That is with the labor force participation rate dropping from 62.6% to 62.5%. So it's more like a rise of 0.2%, and is because of household survey. Because the household survey, which is the basis for unemployment rate, had job losses of 355,000 on top of last month's job losses of 368,000. It looks like we lost both full-time and part-time jobs in that report. So yeah, and that was something I was looking at on the other one too. Is what you see is even though they're showing all of this job creation, they're showing that hourly earnings month over month is going up. The number of unemployed is also going up, and the number of people like long-term unemployed, like those jobless for more than 27 weeks, is also going way up. It's up like almost 500,000 over this point last year. So the jobs numbers, it's a tale of two reports. The jobs numbers really don't give a solid indication of how the economy is doing on this stuff.
Yeah, and again, it's like, how do you, because they collect the data differently. The establishment survey is basically it's just that it's like a survey that they take of businesses versus an act like the ADP is the actual data from these payroll systems.
Right.
So
ADP is like the biggest payroll system on the planet. They're the ones that handle most of all of the payroll stuff. So.
Yeah. So I'm more inclined to take the hard data versus like a survey. I don't know how they do these survey. Like just every time you look at like a poll or something, the way that they're surveying the data, you can make it do a lot of things that aren't necessarily accurate based on the way you conduct the surveys. So but I guess I'm a little more pessimistic than the average person. I don't know. I still don't think, even if this is just like a post-Trump euphoric boom, like maybe a bunch of businesses opened up after Trump won the election because they're very bullish on the economy overall now that Donald Trump's going to be in control of things. I think there was another consumer sentiment hit like all-time record highs after Trump won the election. And again, usually when I see 95% of the crowd going in one direction, I'm tempted to think that the rug's going to be pulled out from under them. I think I would be very careful. I would tread lightly if you think that Donald Trump's just going to waltz in here and because he makes the best deals, the economy is just going to turn around on a dime, and there's going to be no economic pain, no downturn or anything. It's just going to be great again. I would caution you on that.
So one of the interesting things on one of the reports, and it also makes some sense, and it also kind of leads into another topic for today. One of the leading job growth sectors in the October report was healthcare and social assistance. So that also makes sense when you think of, October leading up to holiday season, leading up to flu season, stuff like that. That's when you need to start hiring people so you can get them trained in at that time frame to prepare for, the holidays and for cold and flu season. So that makes some of the gains also make sense in that area. One of the other leisure, hospitality, and also government were some of the leading job growers in September and October. So if you see government as one of the leading job growers, that they didn't create any jobs. They just found ways to make their numbers look good.
Yeah, and if they did create some jobs, they were not productive jobs. They were jobs that are an actual leech on the economy that we have to pay for. They don't produce anything.
But speaking of job growth in the healthcare industry, there was at least one job lost in healthcare, or I guess maybe job created. I don't know how you want to look at this.
Oh, yeah.
This is for those who are listening, this is the assassination of the United Healthcare CEO. There are a bunch of people calling it a professional hit and all this stuff. And, this guy was a pro. He was using subsonic rounds. From most of the analysis I've seen, it's a suspected to be a 22 caliber pistol with a silencer on it. All 22 caliber rounds are subsonic. I saw a really good analysis of this on one of the like gun channels that was talking about how as soon as he shoots, he racks the slide, which you shouldn't have to do on a gun like this. So either he knew that there was something wrong with the gun, or he doesn't know what he's doing and he's just seen it on the movies and is doing stuff.
Well, actually, I saw something different. I'm trying to find the article now. I think it was on Zero Hedge, where they found this firearm that it's sold as a single shot with a built-in suppressor on it, and so they're speculating that that's the gun that he was using. Let me see. Yeah, this is it. Here, may present. Share my screen. This one. Okay. Yeah, so this is what they're thinking he used. I don't understand the point of that. Why would you want a single shot? So that would explain why he's racking it after each shot. Yeah, let's see. A covert type weapon, not widely sold. It's supposed to be pretty expensive. B&T Station 6.9. I've never seen anything like this, but apparently, yeah, it's comes equipped with a sound suppressor, retails for $2,100, and it's a single fire, non-auto ejecting, single shot functioning in a rotational bolt action. I don't know who would want a fucking gun like that. It sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's something that like niche gun collectors would get. I can't.
Yeah, that's why they're like, this is. So there's a couple of things that could really fucking help track this guy down. He's using a really weird gun that not a lot of people have, so that might be traceable. That was a weird, like, yeah, I don't know, dude. It doesn't look very professional to me. It doesn't look like he's a very good shot. Didn't you get him in the leg or something from?
Yeah, well, that was something that the gun guys explained. It was like when you look at the way he's holding the gun, like you can tell he's not a very well trained shooter. Like the angle that he's holding the gun at is why he shot the guy in the leg. Like he's not compensating for the trigger pull, and so you see him like yeah. There's a lot about this that indicates this is definitely not a professional hit or anything, and that kind of makes sense when you find out stuff like this that's come out in the aftermath. I work in pediatric urology. We have United Healthcare deny seizure medications that we can definitely tell will benefit patients based on their EEG results because it's not United Healthcare's preferred medication. The patient has to fail the preferred medication first. And by fail, this means that the patient has to have a shitload of seizures. So these kids have to seize their fucking brains out to get a medication that we know will control their seizures. Fuck health insurance companies. And this is not uncommon. Like my wife has dealt with chronic migraines. The insurance company made her go through 6 different completely useless migraine medications before they finally approved the one that she's on that actually works. But she had to go through like a year and a half and trialing 6 different ones and getting 2 different doctors to say that they're not working before they would let her get the one that actually does work. And thank God they did approve it because the fucking shit costs $3,000 a month. Like
Jesus,
who can like? I'd just die of a fucking migraine if that's the case. Like,
yeah. In that same Zero Hedge article I was just looking at, United Healthcare has some of the highest claim denial rates of any U.S. insurance company. It's 32% of the claims are denied. You can compare that. Blue Cross and Blue Shields is 17%. So it's basically denying twice as many claims as most other insurance companies. And, thanks to Obamacare, there aren't that many insurance companies, are there? It's a very limited field. They have all of these, weird, like only certain areas have certain insurance companies. Like they really have done a tremendous job of fucking up this industry. And yeah, that's wild, dude. A third of their claims are fucking denied. So it would stand to like, yeah, they were speculating, yeah, it could just be somebody who's pissed off that their insurance claims got denied, and yeah, maybe somebody died or something. I don't know. But it's going to be a pretty long list of suspects if they have to go through all of the major claim denials to try to narrow down their pool of suspects. And apparently he had stuff written on the shell casings: deny, defend, and depose, written with a Sharpie on 9mm shell casings, it says.
So it was a 9.
Yeah. And then I guess there was a book, Jay Feynman's book, Delay, Deny, Defund: Why Insurance Companies Don't Pay Claims and What You Can Do About It. So they're trying to link that, what he wrote on the shell casings, to that book there, which would also suggest that this is just a disgruntled medical patient or a relative of a patient that uses United Healthcare. Man, yeah, pretty fucking crazy though. Just it was like early in the morning, right? It was like 6:30 in the morning or 7 in the morning, something like that. I don't know where he was going.
Yeah, street lights are still on. So.
Just walks up, ices him in fucking broad daylight. Well, I guess it's still kind of dark, but as you were saying, anyway. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm not sure if that's a job created or destroyed. Guess it's a wash.
Somebody will get it.
Yeah.
Now the question is, who wants that job after that, and do they make a conscious decision to do something different and maybe push for a little bit different policy? It's crazy that like the left is so adamant that we need like a Canadian healthcare system of this universal healthcare for all, but Canada is just as bad. Like instead of denying people and leaving them to die, they'll be like, "Oh, we can help you like kill yourself. Would you like that?"
Right. Or they won't deny it. They'll just drag it out long enough that you might as well deny it. If I got to wait, 6 months to a year or something for a cancer screening, and by that time it's metastasized into all my lymph nodes or something. Actually, a buddy of mine, the friend of mine who was visiting like a month ago, Canadian, and his mom had something, I think it was with her foot, and it was like a blood clot kind of thing related to, well, he's pretty sure it was related to the vaccine, because her foot fucking blew up the day after she got the vaccine. I'm not sure which one. So yeah, YouTube can probably fucking ban us for this, but whatever, it's speculation. But yeah, that was the only thing that
no, you're allowed to talk about personal experiences or experiences of others who and you just can't hypothesize about the experience.
Okay. Well, so yeah, this is what happened. She went and got the vaccine. Later that night, excruciating pain in her foot, and it like ballooned up. And she couldn't really go see doctors in Canada to get it worked on. She ended up going to the US. Like, and I forget it. I'm pretty sure it was either that. I'm pretty sure that was the incident where she ended up going to the US because it was going to be such a long wait for treatment for it in Canada. And it's just like, yeah, I mean, the US system is not great, but it's because they keep doing this half in, half out with like capitalism doesn't work like that. You know, you cannot water it down with socialism and then expect it to function. Like sometimes it functions worse than a completely socialized market, because you have these perverse incentives by tinkering with the system, the free market system. So yeah, it's not going to work if you're half in, half out. And we've seen this in a million other countries, a million other industries and sectors of the economy where they do this. it's very frustrating to watch it keep happening, and the people watch these disasters. I mean, like the fact that your wife's medication costs $3,000 a month is fucking insane. That's insane. Like I can't defend that, but I know for a fact that if you had a free market in healthcare and health insurance, there would be a much cheaper alternative to that.
Well, there's a ton of studies and research and stuff that shows that health insurance is the reason that healthcare costs are so high. Like the way the insurance billing and everything else works, it's all by government edict, but it's what makes all of these executives and everybody else stinking rich. Also, it doesn't hurt that the medical lobby is literally the biggest in Washington. I know I've talked about this before a bunch, but like it's not even fucking close. Like you cannot fathom how much money they pour into Washington to make sure that they can continue to do this shit. You wonder why you wonder why the Affordable Care Act is so fucking bad. It's by intention. It's by design. Like that's what it was meant to do, was to destroy the insurance industry, to narrow it down to a handful who have all the power in the lobbies in Washington to begin with, and then just dump boatloads of money into them.
Yep. And then, I mean, Obama even said it himself, like the idea is to get to a single payer system. So you continue to break the free market system until it gets so, but you keep calling it a free market system. And then once you completely break that and you fuck it up, you're like, well, the only other thing we can do is go to a single payer healthcare system. And yeah, this is all by design. I mean, the amount of paperwork that goes into these insurance, like every time you use your insurance claim, that costs a fucking fortune. And then of course the people getting the care are not the ones paying the bill ultimately. Right? It's like the government's negotiating with insurance companies, and it's like you go into the office, you have insurance, so you don't even know what things cost. The doctors don't even know what it costs. Next time you go to the doctor, ask them whatever they're going to do to you. Ask them how much it costs. They're not going to know. They have no idea. Like name another market that functions like that. And by the way, you don't care what the cost is, because you just got to pay your $25 copay or whatever. And unless it's like a major, surgery or something, what's your deductible going to be? Most people's did $1,500 or something. So it's like, yeah, you don't care. You don't care what the cost is. So yeah, obviously the insurance company is going to bill the government through the fucking roof. They've completely fucked it up. Oh, sorry. I'm just seeing who's comment here. It probably was a leftist. He was staying at a hostel in New York.
Took a bus from Atlanta to New York. That's fucking insane.
Yeah, like a 900-mile journey or something. But he stayed at a hostel. That's a very lefty thing to do.
Yeah. Also, if it was a right winger, probably would have been a little bit better of a shot. Just saying, probably wouldn't have clipped the dude in the leg on the first try. Saying, just
yeah. Or also just that gun just looks really gay.
I mean,
that looks like a gun that a tranny would buy.
Well, like if you're gonna use a 9, there are so many like cheaper, much more efficient options for a 9. Something that's not going to require all this bullshit. Like, unless it was just something that this kid's like uncle had and he stole it from a gun cabinet or something. Like, I can't imagine why you would use that particular gun.
Just for the suppressor. I mean, there's got to be a way to get a suppressor onto a gun for less than $2,100, I would think.
Well, I mean, there was somebody standing there watching him do it. Right. So if you're going to all the trouble of a suppressor to try to like hide that you're killing this dude, don't do it with a fucking bystander just standing there. Like at that point, you might as well like go full on AR-15. Why do we do it why do we use the suppressor?
And on camera too. It's just like. Yeah, that was pretty funny. That lady's just like standing there, and then she's just sort of nonchalant. Like I would have bolted a lot faster. Because
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean
think you
that's
realize
an
what would happen.
eyewitness. Like, did he even have? I don't think he had a. Well, I guess he did have like a mask on, right? He had like one of those COVID cover-ups. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. He's lucky he didn't just take her out, take out the eyewitness. But yeah, well, speaking of COVID, we've got another revelation that's going to shock absolutely no one that's been listening to this podcast. But yeah.
500-page report on COVID-19 pandemic. Key findings: COVID-19 likely originated from a lab-related incident in Wuhan, China. Crazy. You get banned from YouTube for saying that. Banned. Okay, over $200 billion in relief funds lost to fraud, with criminals exploiting weak oversight. Prolonged lockdowns and arbitrary mandates cause severe harm, economic devastation, mental health crises, and historic learning loss, while lacking robust scientific support. Policies ignored natural immunity, pushing mandates that eroded trust and harmed public perception of science. Absolutely. WHO and CDC compromised by political interference, offering inconsistent, unscientific guidance that fueled public distrust. And the key players included federal agencies, and Cuomo's administration actively obstructed oversight efforts and hid critical evidence.
Christ.
Select subcommittee on coronavirus pandemic basically said all the conspiracy theorists were correct. Every single one of them. No repercussions, no retractions, no apology from Rachel Maddow. None of it.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing that you can just get, it's not even getting it wrong. Like, it was not hard to get this right. It was pretty obvious very early on. Everything they were saying was complete bullshit. The fact that they can lie to that extent, get all the prescribed things wrong, blow hundreds of billions of dollars of taxpayer money, and just no heads are going to roll over this. Not one. Not one. There are still people praising Anthony Fauci, believe it or not. I think there's more that would like to see him in a fucking prison cell for the rest of his life. But there's still a good portion of people that are legitimately trying to make the case, oh yeah, he's a fucking hero. He's a hero.
Well,
and
he's a hero. That's why Joe Biden needs to give him a preemptive pardon. He needs to be pardoned for anything that he may or may not have done wrong before they have a chance to even investigate or press charges or anything. Like, have you been seeing the growing list of people that it's being suggested that Joe Biden either should or legitimately may give preemptive pardons to? Like Liz Cheney. Like, why the fuck does Liz Cheney need a pardon? What did Liz Cheney do?
I have not seen that.
Oh yeah, Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, Jack Smith, Anthony Fauci, Mark Milley. Milley's one of them that was like, I'm really worried that they're going to come after me once they get into office. It's like, well, I mean, maybe you shouldn't have been a blood-soaked, warmongering psychopath for your entire career. I don't know.
Yeah. Magoo. Yeah, I had this article pulled up. I forgot to send this one to you. That the jurors in the Daniel Penny trial could not reach a unanimous verdict on manslaughter charges. I had that queued up in my little tickler here. A judge on December 6th directed the jury to continue deliberating. But this was, so I had this. This is from like noon, New York time. So apparently the case has been dismissed. So we had at least a couple of fucking people, at least one person on that fucking jury who was nullifying this fucking thing. Daniel Penny, he's the guy, for those of you that don't remember, choked out that fucking lunatic on the New York subway who was going crazy and threatening to stab people. He had also punched a couple of women, I think, over the years, and he was he was portrayed in, of course, the corporate press as just this, go along to get along kind of guy. He would do the Michael Jackson impersonations or something like that, and not a fucking complete psycho. And this guy puts him in a chokehold. He ends up killing him. Did we ever get the autopsy on that? I feel like it's just so hard to choke somebody out to death. Don't you have to fucking strangle them for like 5 minutes?
It it could be it's potentially extenuating circumstances. No, I never did see an actual autopsy.
Because again, dude, yeah, it seems like a lot of time this happens with the cops too, where they're choking somebody out, but they're also, they've downed a fucking a couple 8 balls, maybe some fentanyl. You never know, like what these fucking crazy people have in their system. But yeah, I don't know if we ever got an autopsy on that. But so how long did this case take, man? It's crazy. Like, so this guy's just been in prison for like at least a year, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's been quite a year. I think it might have been earlier in this year, but it has been at least for the entirety of 2024, more or less. Yeah, May trial judge agrees to drop top manslaughter count after the jury deadlocks twice.
Good for those fucking jurors, man. What a bunch of bullshit. And just the message that sends, dude. You're trying to take down a fucking crazy person on the train, which has become a much bigger problem in New York and Chicago. I've personally fucking seen a lot of crazy shit on the trains in Chicago over the last couple of years, just getting worse and worse. And what's the message that we want to send here? You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, the guy died, but it was basically, it was almost acting in self-defense for the entire train car of people that could have been potential victims to these fucking crazy people. I'd much rather err on the side of, crazy fucking lunatic homeless guy dies rather than everybody's afraid to do anything to try to stop some crazy guy. Nobody wants to intervene because you'll have to go through what this fucking poor guy just went through. I think it was May 1st, 2023 is what the incident. Yeah.
Oh gosh, has it been that long ago?
Yeah. So, dude, a fucking year and a half, man. You have to fucking sit in prison. I don't think they let him out on bail or anything, did they?
No. They didn't let him out.
Yeah.
Man.
So, there's things are. Another white pill, man. Maybe the sentiment is changing.
Well, and did you see the interviews that he did with the police? Like they even played the interviews during the trial. Just like he came in of his own volition. He wasn't arrested or anything. He came in, he sat down, he had a conversation with them. Like they talked, he and one of the other police officers who was doing the interrogation were talking about their military service. Like they had they were just like having like banter and back and forth and stuff. And then out of the blue, they throw this guy in jail and he's being held on murder charges or manslaughter charges.
I saw the video of the interrogation like maybe a week or so ago. It came out, or at least that's when I saw it. And I was like, yeah, dude, I don't know, man. You can't go and fucking talk to cops like that. Unfortunately, like you got to have a fucking lawyer. Because who knows what they're going to, trick you into fucking saying, or, they pretend to be your fucking best friend. And then they charge you with this kind of shit and throw you in a fucking cell for, I mean, dude, I don't know how many people on this jury were deadlocking it, but it could have just been one person. Like, you know what I mean? Like if the jury selection goes the other way, you don't get a decent fucking person on that jury selection. You get charged with fucking manslaughter. I'm sorry, dude. Like that's the spirit of the law is not to fucking put somebody like that in prison. This should have been open and there should have never brought fucking charges on something like that. It's pretty clear, he was acting in the interest of humanity in that situation. What does that say?
This
Yeah.
was the DA more than the cops. Mayor Adams even spoke out against the charges recently. Yeah, Eric Adams has been surprisingly decent on a lot of stuff of late. Well, I mean, it's the left's own fault that they pushed him in that direction, because he had the audacity to call out all of the illegal immigration and how violent and insane shit's gotten in New York. And then as soon as he did that, they start trying to go take the lawfare route on him and like bring charges against him for some pretty basic bullshit that like literally every politician does, and everybody knows every politician does, and nobody ever talks about it, except as soon as he has the audacity to call them out for all of the immigration stuff, now they're trying to take him to court over that stuff. And so they've turned him against him. Now he's now Eric Adams is like pushing borderline right winger.
Yeah, I think he just did an interview here where he hasn't ruled out switching to the Republican Party. Apparently, he was a Republican from 97 to 2001. So that makes sense that you would switch after George Bush. Switch over to Democrats, and now he might switch back. Yeah. I mean, yeah, dude, things are just getting so fucking crazy. Like, they're so deranged on the left that I just can't. I can't imagine anybody who's being honest with a decent brain rattling around between their ears wouldn't consider switching parties, because you just can't. There's just no space for any sanity in the Democratic Party.
You see, like Fetterman talking about stuff lately. Like he was talking about Elon Musk, and he's like, Fetterman's another one of those that has been amazing. The dude has a stroke, and as his brain function returns, he becomes progressively more and more like sane.
Yeah. I wish I didn't have like a frame of reference on it. I had no idea who he was until after he had the stroke, so I have no idea. Like, we don't have a good starting point to see if he's always, so from what I've been able to find of him throughout his political career, he's always been a very blue collary type of dude. Like the hoodie and looking like a slob is kind of his shtick. Like it's been his thing for forever. And he's just a regular like Pennsylvania dude. And he took a lot of very what we would consider bad positions on controversial topics and stuff, because it's what you have to do to get to the next step if you're a Democrat. Like if you don't say the right things, then you get sacrificed on the altar of wokeness. So you say the right things and get yourself in office, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want. And that seems to kind of be what he's doing now. Yeah.
And also, it probably doesn't hurt that Pennsylvania shifted really hard red in this most recent election. So he can be more middle of the road, even bordering on conservative with some stuff, because that would actually probably be beneficial to him where he is.
It would be it's like the ultimate troll. I would love to, you run for office and you just say all of these like stupid socialist things to get elected. And then you get in there and you end the Fed.
And I've said that before, like, don't necessarily listen to what some of these politicians say about certain social issues and stuff like that. Especially on the left, some of them that, so like, I know Tulsi Gabbard has plenty of stuff to not like, but there were people that would glom on to certain things that would be like on her campaign website or something. And it's like, those are talking points from the Democrat establishment that you have to have on your campaign website, or you don't get to continue to run for offices. Like, don't necessarily listen or don't necessarily pay attention to the stuff that's on the website. Pay attention to what they're actually talking about and the things that they're saying, and see what they're saying when they're not doing DNC related events and stuff. Like, listen to what they're saying off the cuff, and that's where you kind of find out who some of these people are. And it's
Yeah.
the same on the right. I mean, there are right wingers that take bad positions on stuff publicly, and then when they talk more candidly or you see their voting record, they don't support some of the dumb shit that they shouldn't support. But you have to publicly say the right things in order to. I've said before, like if I knew how this game worked and understood politics as well as I do now, when I was like 20 years old, I'd have become a Democrat. I'd have said all the right things. I'd have gotten all the fucking money, and then I'd have been an absolute goddamn terror. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. The ends would justify the means, I suppose, in that situation. I just don't think I could be such a fucking phony piece of shit for as long as it would take. I don't know if I could maintain the discipline there. I just saw this thing, the CVS thing that you sent.
yeah, CVS removed the names of their
And photos. Yeah.
names and photos of their CEO and other high-ranking executives from their website after the United Health thing. Like now you got to put all of your all the healthcare CEOs have to go into witness protection.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I don't know how much control they would have over, something like that. I suppose you could change the sort of the mentality of these insurance companies denying so many claims from the top down like that. But yeah, I guess they're going to be running for their lives. Look out.
I can't say the things I want to say because all of our solutions are Fed posts, and YouTube takes that shit kind of seriously sometimes.
Yeah.
Speaking of politicians who, I don't know, who we may not think that we like, but sometimes get shit right, at least on a very, very, very rare occasion, we'll get some shit right. Bernie Sanders has said that he is considering supporting RFK Jr. for HHS secretary. I think what he's saying about the food industry is exactly correct. I can't do an old Jew voice. I'm not good at it.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. That's definitely interesting. I mean, yeah, he makes a lot of just like very like realistic, simple points on, just take all this crap out of our food. All these like the red dyes and the yellow dye, like all that stuff. That's just, there's no upside to it whatsoever. It's just like it changes the color of the food and it could possibly cause any sort of damage. Like, yeah, okay, let's get rid of that. Then of course, he takes a lot of heat for his raw milk, I guess. But yeah, I don't know, dude. Just okay, use natural fucking ingredients, natural fats. It's amazing how many people give him shit for like, when he was deep frying his turkey in beef tallow. There's so many people like ragging on him for that. I don't know, man. Who doesn't? Yeah. Why aren't we frying things in beef tallow? Because it's fucking vegetarians. Fuck that.
Yeah. Fuck them.
Yeah. That's, I forget when McDonald's made the switch from, because they used to use beef tallow or something like that way back in the day, and then they switched over to one of those seed oils. But yeah, because a bunch of vegans and vegetarians want to be able to eat their fries. I'm sorry, go fuck yourself, or maybe have just two different options. It's pretty fucking. I never even really would think about asking, like, if I went to a restaurant or something. It's like, what are you frying this in? It never really occurred to me. If they do fry it in something that's healthy, like relatively healthy and delicious, they'll usually point it out, and they charge like duck fat fries. It's like all the rage. What was that, like 10, 15 years ago? Like, oh, duck fat fries.
Duck fat fries. I've got 6 ducks. I need to get rid of a couple. Fuck. And now you just introduced me to something I never knew I needed. R.I.P. ducks. I'm coming for you bastards.
There you go.
I know what I'm doing next week on my days off.
Sorry, ducks. But yeah, you fry, and ducks are real fatty too, right? You can get a lot of fat off those things. So yeah, fry your French fries in duck fat. That was like a big thing. Yeah, it was like all the rage. Maybe 10 years ago, that was kind of a trend in the food industry. But yeah, you would think like, okay, yeah, now I did start to see, I started to see things like on Instagram and stuff where they're
McDonald's stopped using beef tallow in their cooking oil in 1990. The decision was primarily driven by health concerns related to saturated fat content found in beef tallow. Although now the saturated fat thing has been pretty well debunked. So, but crazy how that works, right?
Yeah. After they've done, so okay, yeah, fucking 35 years worth of damage to the not just the country, to the fucking world. I wonder if they don't. Yeah, I don't know if they do it. If they have the same, because you know, like you go to like different countries, McDonald's has like different menu items. I don't know if maybe they do it in like real fat or something over in Europe. Probably not. Probably not. But yeah, that's a nice a small little victory here. And are there any other crazy leftists going to support RFKJ?
You would think so, considering how anti big pharma the left was for like literally right up until 2020, and then all of a sudden they like turned on their head. But you know that the left was the party of the anti-vaxxers. Like, you know, all the woke suburban soccer moms were the ones who were causing measles outbreaks in the suburbs because they wouldn't get their kids like some of the actually like necessary vaccines. I am not in favor of a whole lot of them, but there are a handful of them that's like, yeah, you know, maybe you should do at least a couple of these.
Yeah, and again, it's so frustrating to watch them have just no nuance at all. Like, oh, he's an anti-vaxxer. He's like, no. He's literally just questioning all, like, if we need all of these, like, what is it, like hepatitis and shit they're giving fucking babies. It's crazy. Yeah,
hepatitis B is one of the first vaccines that they give to newborns. Hepatitis B is a sexually transmitted disease. Why the fuck are we giving that to newborns?
Yeah. I guess just in case all those minor attracted people get their hands on them. But it's just like, yeah, I mean, there's like dozens of these things that they're putting in these kids that just seem completely unnecessary. At least at the very least, it should be under review, you know. But that makes you a crazy anti-vaxxer. Okay.
Well, did we talk about it the other day? I know I read an article about it on my morning stream on my show for my channel this morning. Vaccination rates are over the last 2 years have been significantly lower, and this is not across the board, but also across the board. But flu uptake, COVID boosters, and RSV are way down. RSV isn't way down so much as it's not getting the uptake that they expected it to. So there's an RSV vaccine for elderly folks that they introduced last year, and they were really expecting people to do it, and then they just didn't. And then this year they're still really not. Like I think last year only like 17% of their like target demographic, which is like 60 plus and really 75 plus, actually got it. And I think this year it's up in like the low 30%, but it's still not like they were expecting a whole lot of these old people to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get my RSV vaccine, and it has not happened. Flu vaccinations are the last 2 years have been historically low in the like mid 30 percentiles, when usually flu vaccine for adults 18 and over is somewhere in the upper 40s, like pushing 50% of American adults get the flu vaccine. In children, like school age kids, it's way down. Usually school age kids are in the 60 percentile range, and now it's like in the low 40s, upper 30s. Like they're blaming it all on misinformation, obviously. But like
well, it's like what Rogan was saying. Like they did this to themselves. They destroyed all their fucking credibility over that COVID-19 vaccine. And they did it so that, I mean, they made a bunch of money. They made a bunch of fucking money in the short term, but big picture, I mean, I have to question every fucking thing now that your doctor is going to prescribe. Particularly, like, even just like I think it was Tom Woods that wrote like one of his like newsletters or whatever about how he was like, his doctor was like, you should get the shingles vaccine. And he's like, yeah, normally I would just, okay, yep, I'm at that age, shingles vaccine. Like, who wants to get shingles? It hurts and it sucks. So I'll get this vaccine because they said, like, you know, it's 85% effective or something. But after the whole COVID thing, now that people have looked into how they come, he's like, what does 85% effective mean? How did they come up with that number? And so it's just like, yeah, these chances are all these studies are complete bullshit. And you have to look into everything now. That's not our fault. It's not our fault. That's their fault, man. Shady fucking studies. They've flown too close to the sun with their shitty wings. Overplayed their hands. And yeah, I couldn't imagine. I don't think I ever got a flu vaccine. Never. As a kid, I never got the flu vaccine. At least I don't think so. Unless, yeah, I'm pretty sure I didn't. But yeah, I'm assuming I got all the normal vaccines that you get when you're a baby. You know, my parents are from that my parents are like the polio generation, where it's like they stood in line to get the fucking polio vaccine when that first came out. And so they really believe in these things. But yeah, after that ordeal, after they get caught just completely full of shit, completely. Not only were they pushing a bullshit vaccine, but it was like the thing that they were pushing it for was totally unnecessary. And it's just like, dude, are we going to have like a COVID season now? Is it like COVID season, or is that just like combined with cold and flu now?
They barely talk about it. It's just combined with cold and flu now. Like, if you go to at least around here, if you go to like the doctor's office or urgent care or something like that because you're not feeling good, like, they're like, do you want a COVID test? Just be like, no. And they're like, okay. And then they move on. Like, they don't even ask.
Yeah. You know how many fucking COVID tests I had to take just to fly, just to be able to fucking move? It's ridiculous, dude. And never tested positive for it once. Probably got it like 3 times. Otherwise, never got a test for it. Like, what difference does it make? I was thinking about, you know, I had a family come down here at for New Year's this past year. And like, my uncle got really sick. My sister got really sick. And I was like, that was probably COVID. But it was just like, yeah, I don't know. You're just down for the count for a couple of days, fever, not feeling well. I'll make you some chicken soup. And then you're back at it in a couple of days. Like, okay, if it was COVID, like, who cares? What does that even mean anymore? It might as well just be the flu. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. And yeah, pushing these. Who's still getting their like boosters and everything? Who's going to be the last person to get a COVID booster?
They're showing, speaking of the statistics earlier, like less than 19% of people are getting their boosters this year. Like, it's tragically low uptake on that.
Yeah.
Yay.
Well, I wouldn't say tragic.
I think for children, it's like in the single digits, which is good. That means parents are actually like waking up and realizing, holy shit, we shouldn't be doing this to our kids. And, you know, talking about the flu thing, I know I've mentioned this before, but like, my mom was a public school teacher. She taught preschool for 20 some odd years. And while she was a teacher, she was required to get the flu shot every year. And every year she would just get like deathly sick. Like, within a week or two of getting the flu shot, she would just be sick as a dog, have the flu, be miserable. And usually it was worse than like if she had actually gotten the flu. Like, she would be down for the count like 2 or 3 weeks. Since she retired, she doesn't get the flu shot anymore. Guess who hasn't had the flu literally once since she retired?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like sometimes these vaccines, like even just the side of like the initial side effect of the vaccine, they give you a little bit of the fucking virus. It's like, yeah, you might as well just take your chances. What is it, like 50-50 you're going to get the flu? It's like, all right, roll the dice instead of guaranteeing that you get it every year at least once. It's like, I don't know, man. It never made any sense to me. And it always reminds me of that scene from Kindergarten Cop where the guy's the bad dude's like with his mom at the store, and she's like trying to buy all these like drugs, antibiotics and everything for his son. And he's like, you pumped me full of that stuff for fucking 10 years or whatever as a kid. There was never anything wrong with me. And his mom's like, that's why there was never anything wrong with you. It's just like, okay, yeah, sure. Whatever you say, Mom. But we'll see. That's a nice little white pill that they're not doing it to their kids anymore. Where there was never a case for that. Of all the justifications for giving a group of people the vaccine, that the fact that you would even try to make an argument for children is just beyond ridiculous.
One, like not just COVID and flu shots, stuff like that, but all vaccines are currently down for kids. Like that's another one of the things that has kind of been behind this really hard push. I don't know if you don't live in the U.S., so you probably don't see a lot of like commercials and stuff, American commercials and stuff. But what are Mexican commercials like? Are they any good? Are they fun?
No. Well, I don't watch like live TV, so the only commercials I see are on like YouTube or something, and it depends on what my VPN's set at. Like, it's usually set to the U.S. anyway. The Mexican commercials I've been seeing, yeah, there's one for this fucking thing here in Vallarta, Rhythms of the Night. I see that a lot. Yeah, it's like vacation-y shit for the most part.
Well, there has been, if you watch a lot of college football, professional football, stuff like that, there's been a huge push for the COVID and flu vaccines. And you can get a combo shot. You can get a twofer. You can get a twofer.
Buy one, get one.
Yeah, it's your cold, flu, and COVID all in one shot. Like you can get it. One-stop shop, but there's been a big like advertising push for this, but also for a lot of other like childhood vaccines and stuff. There's been they've been running commercials and stuff for it because the uptake of that has gotten so low over the last couple of years in the wake of the COVID stuff that like the big pharma is getting real concerned that they're going to start seeing a dip in their profit margin.
Yeah, as they fucking should. And by the way, like, I guarantee you there was never a study done that says, oh, what if we mix all these together and give it to you in one shot? What are the effects of that?
Well, remember RFK? I think we played the clip of him saying like that he had put in a FOIA request with the NIH and Fauci to like get some information about some of these vaccines and stuff. And they're like, oh yeah, we'll have to get it to you. Like we don't have it here. And finally, when they did send it over, basically they just sent something over that said, yeah, we don't actually have any of that. Like we don't have that stuff.
Wonderful.
We didn't do any of that.
Well, I mean, even if they're doing all these trials when they're trying to get the vaccine approved, they're not like, okay, here's our trial where we mix it with the flu vaccine and give it to you in one shot. Like you can't guarantee that that's not going to do something, abnormal. We don't know how these things interact. When you mix them together and then you give it to all, or even if you just give the person like 4 different shots on the same day, what are the effects of that? How does that work out?
Oh fuck! Did you see that
negative
thing
interactions? We don't know.
Did you see that thing where a judge ordered that mom had not gotten her kid any of the recommended vaccines? The mom hadn't gotten her kid any of the recommended vaccines. The judge ordered that they had to be given all of these, and then the fucking doctor did like 19 of them on the same day, and the kid fucking died. The judge and the doctor who administered it should both be fucking hung. Like that,
100%.
That's straight up murdered a kid. And Okay, they're recommended. They're fucking-mended. They're not required. How can a judge order a doctor to give these shots to a kid whose mom didn't want him to get it? I mean, that's you want to talk about miscarriage of justice.
Holy shit, dude. When did this happen?
Within the last 6 months.
Holy shit, dude. Yeah, we need to can you find
I'll find the article. We'll talk about it at length on Tuesday, because that was I've seen it, and I've seen it pop up a couple times since then. That shit was
is out. Yeah, that's like you're paying your taxes is based on voluntary compliance.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And that, dude, the fact that a judge can do that is it is criminal. And then that the doctor goes along with it. Oh man, yeah, that's Jesus Christ, dude. That's fucking crazy. Absolutely fucking crazy, man. In the land of the free, in the home of the brave. Look how far we have fallen. But Maha and MAGA are gonna turn all that around, I'm sure. Sure of it. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully.
We got anything else today?
We got our wrap up, our little fun.
Oh yes.
Our little funny story to take us out.
Why are you gay?
Who says I'm gay?
You are gay.
Oppenheimer star Emma Dumont comes out as trans-masculine non-binary and changes name.
Trans-masculine non-binary.
Star seems like a bit of a stretch, but okay. Emma Dumont now uses they/them pronouns and goes by Nick.
I like how they put the parentheses around Oppenheimer instead of Star. Like, why do you need the parentheses around Oppenheimer? That's the name of the movie, right?
Right. And look, I mean, we go from this to this. Like, what the fuck?
Oh God. Yeah. What? Okay. What? So
that looks like you when you wake up in the morning with your bed head. A little less facial.
Yeah. Trans masculine non-binary. Okay. What the fuck does that even mean? What is that? Trans masculine. Like, okay. Yeah. I can't even. Granted, I killed like a bunch of brain cells last night drinking tequila, but like, what the? I can't wrap my head around what that means. Transmasculine, non-binary. All right. And why is it always people that are just? Okay, I've never heard of this lady.
This is the best part. The change in names will only be used by family and friends, as Dumont will remain with the stage name Emma and the same Instagram handle. So she's not gonna like this. Man, if there was ever I need work, pay attention to me, cry for help, this is it.
Yeah. And hopefully, I mean, this DEI thing seems to be on a nice downward trajectory. So maybe in a few more years, none of this shit will even matter. But this is clearly like, if you could get work based on merit, if you actually were a star, you wouldn't have to go through these fucking publicity stunts. That's all this is. And it's good. It's getting her some airtime. I've never heard of this fucking chick before. I haven't seen Oppenheimer. I heard it was good. I don't know. But yeah, isn't it amazing? There's like almost zero impressive people that turn to this non-binary transitioning stuff. The exception of
I got it for you. The term transmasculine is used to refer to several different groups of people, all of whom were assigned female at birth but identify with masculinity, including transgender males and AFAB non-binary.
AFAB, what's that?
I don't know, and I'm not sure I want to. Oh, assigned female at birth, AFAB. Assigned female at birth is what that means.
Dude, these goddamn acronyms, man, they're out of control. They're fucking out of control. It's like a full-time job trying to keep up with this crap. This is, if you were any good as an actress, as you actually were a star, you wouldn't have to do this.
This looks like my stepson when he was like 15. That's like some Instagram shit he would have posted that he would post.
That's her point. She's masculine. She identifies with masculinity. Isn't that a picture of masculinity right there?
Right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look out. There's a fucking manly man. God damn it, dude. Trans masculine, non-binary. What's the non-binary then?
Well, she's using they them pronouns now. She doesn't want to be she her, but also masculine isn't right because she's not a man, so she wouldn't want he him, so it's they them, so that's non-binary.
So okay, but wouldn't you just be non-binary then? What's the like aren't transing to masculine, doesn't that create a binary? Isn't that partaking in the binary?
Jim got it right. AFAB is all females are batshit.
Oh, Jesus Christ, man. Especially these fucking Hollywood lunatics. Like, you see all these like actresses and shit. They have like 3 kids. All 3 of them are like transitioning.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, what are the odds of that? 0. 0 that it wasn't fucking coerced. All I hear is she's free on Father's Day. Yeah. Yeah, and that's even great. It's like it's not enough that you already have a fake name and identity as an actress. You have the stage name. You have to come up with another fake name and identity for yourself. These fucking crazy actresses. I wonder what her next big fucking move is gonna be. Her next big star. It's gonna be it'll be some like Netflix adaptation of a once great series or genre, and they'll come up with some retarded way of ruining it, starring her. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything good to watch these? What is everybody watching?
My wife and I just finished season 2 of The Diplomat on Netflix. It's really good.
Okay.
If you want like a political drama that probably tells more truth than what people are really expecting it to, it's really good. Speaking of like political dramas on Netflix, if you never watched House of Cards, I know Kevin Spacey and all the bullshit, and the last season was terrible, but up until that last season, House of Cards was exceptional television. Highly recommend that one.
Yeah, I did. I watched at least the first few seasons of that, and then I kind of lost it. I think I lost interest in it like before Spacey even was eliminated from the show. But yeah, that was a good show.
The first couple seasons were like top notch, and then it kind of fell off. But it was some really good stuff. But yeah, The Diplomat was really good. Trying to think of what else. Oh, if you were like a wrestling fan in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, watch Mr. McMahon on Netflix. It's a 6-part docuseries about the WWF or WWF, WCW, and then WWE from like the 80s through up until the past couple years. It was really, really good. It gives you some nostalgia if you were a big like fan of the WCW versus WWF days.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've seen that. I haven't watched it, but I've seen it's like popped up in some of my feeds here. Yeah. McMahon. That guy was into some weird shit. I think I might have watched like the first episode too. Yeah, where it was talking about like his relationship with his father. Didn't he buy it from his father or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I watched like the first episode. But yeah, I got to be in a mood for one of those. I got to be feeling nostalgic for some wrestling. Not really feeling that right now. But yeah, we'll come if you're coming to the happy hour. Come with some fucking show recommendations. I'm out of material over here. I'm waiting for some new seasons to come out, I think next year. So that's all I got. You got anything going on this weekend?
I'm working.
Yeah, back at work. I don't know what I'm doing. It's starting to get hot. The sun's coming back out. I might have to go take a little dip in the pool here. Maybe a beach walk. Friday beach walk. And we'll do our... We were doing it at 7:30 Central, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep that. It was nice when that was an action. I was an hour earlier. We're on the same time schedule now, so you guys know. For a while, at least. Is the U.S. going to get rid of daylight savings? Wasn't somebody floating that? Somebody in Trump's...
If that's the only thing Trump accomplishes in the next 4 years, I'll be happy with it.
Yeah, that and a Ross Ulbright pardon that'd be a win as far as I'm concerned. Speaking of miscarriages of justice, Jesus, at least Penny got off.
Yeah.
Wonder if can he get any compensation? It's just so fucking ridiculous, man.
The dude that he choked out, Jordan Neely, that guy's dad is suing him. Hopefully that gets thrown out like immediately.
Yeah, get the fuck out of it. All these pieces of shit looking for fucking paydays. All right. Well, that's gonna do it for this week. Another week in the books. We are officially in December. Bitcoin's over 100,000. At least last time I checked, it was. Let's see. Should we check it real quick? Crypto's still going fucking crazy. Let's have a look. See here. Yeah, we were trading Bitcoin in our last happy hour. That was kind of fun. Maybe we'll do that again. The problem with Friday, Friday and Saturday and most of Sunday are the only days where the futures market and the currency markets are closed. So it would be fun if I could just if certain times we wanted to actually take some trades while we're shooting the shit and just mess around a little bit and maybe teach you guys some of the business here. But yeah, really the only thing that's active are the fucking cryptos Friday night. So we'll see what's going on with Bitcoin. Yeah, it's right at 100,000 right now. So that's and it got up to like 104 I saw on one exchange before it pulled back to fucking 90. Like, dude, just in like a 15-minute period, dude, it's crazy. I mean, obviously that's people, cashing out. But yeah, crypto at near all-time highs. Yeah, just don't. I saw that fucking Hawk to a coin, dude. That's just so ridiculous, man. Anybody that fucking bought that, you deserve to lose. I think it got as high as like
right. All the people that are mad because they lost all their money on that. It's like you got what you deserved. Like, no, she doesn't deserve to go to jail. You deserve to never have money again. Like, you proved you can't be trusted with it.
Right. Yeah. It's like, what did you think this was other than a pump and dump?
Right. It's a fucking meme coin. Like,
and by the way, how do you create these things? Can I just do one? Let's do a peddling fiction coin. I would never do that to you guys, but yeah, do one and just I'll never sell it. Promise never to fucking sell it. Yeah, targeting people not familiar, but like, how could you not be familiar with the way these fucking meme coins work? They're all fucking complete bullshit and just get rich quick schemes for, within the first day or two, they pop up. Everybody fucking buys them, and then the people cash out, and a bunch of idiots left holding the bag, thinking they bought a lottery ticket. I think all those lottery tickets have been sold. I don't think anybody's getting rich, getting billionaire status off of buying these fucking meme coins or any sort of crypto anymore. The ones that did make people billionaires are pretty expensive now. Pretty expensive at 100K a coin. Even Doge at 43 cents. That's up there. So yeah.
Holy fuck! I should have held on to it when I bought it when it was less than a fucking penny. I'd be a millionaire right now.
See, yeah, that's what you get, man. Yeah, it got up to 40.
I cashed out and bought ammo with it.
Dude, it got up to 46 cents. Recently, it did get as high as like 70 the first pump on it.
I would.
Yeah, I should have sold it then. Yeah, I fucked around. I just threw some at it when it was like 2 cents or something.
Oh man, I was bought in when it was less than a fucking penny, and then it went like it ran up to like a penny, and I made a few $100. I was like, okay, cool. So I cashed out and bought ammo.
Yeah, I mean, like you can fuck around with these. You can trade them. Don't leverage yourself like some of these idiots and take out like a fucking second mortgage and put that in there. But yeah, if you just want to mess around, we can go through the charts and show you how to trade these things. They're a little fucking crazy. And yeah, if you can get in, like throw a couple $100 at it. I did that with Doge. I think, yeah, it was like 2 cents or something. I was like, this is just fucking hilarious. I'm going to buy some as a joke, like $500 worth. And then when it went to like 9 cents, I took my 500 out and I just left the runner on. And I watched it go all the way up to 70. And I was like, this is pretty fucking crazy. I was like up like 12 grand or something on it. And then you watch it go all the way back down to 8 cents again. It bounced around there. And it's like, yep, if you can get your initial investment out, I'm a big fan of that. If you want, you can leave a runner on, play with some house money. I took most of my whatever I had left. I think I left like 1,000 coins in there or something most recently. But yeah, when it got up to 43 cents, 42 or 43 cents recently, that's when I cashed. I was like, yep, I'm good with that. I'll take a few G's out of this here. Anytime you get to all-time highs, you should be taking some profits, in my humble opinion. That's how you make money over the long haul. Bears make money, bulls make money, and pigs get slaughtered, as they say. So, yeah, but we can, if you guys want, we can mess around with some of that stuff again. That was fun for me. I don't know if anybody else enjoyed it, but we'll be doing that tonight at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And, yep, until Tuesday, you guys know what to do. Just keep on peddling that so-called fiction. Peace.